Hello guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is T of the FTK Crochet brand and I am back with another tutorial. Today we are going to be making the tutorial for this beautiful beanie. It is a step-by-step detailed tutorial, so it is beginner friendly. If you are new to crochet, this is something you can actually make for yourself or for a loved one as a gift. So without further ado, let us get into this tutorial. Okay, so for this project, these are the materials that you are going to need. You are going to need your yarn, of course. So I'm using this medium weight yarn. It's a 4-ply acrylic yarn. All right. So I'm using the pink color and the blue color, but you can go ahead to use whatever yarn you feel comfortable working with. All right. So you are going to need your scissors, a measurement tape, a tapestry needle, some stitch markers. And on this one, we are going to be working with a 5mm hook size. All right. So let us get into it. Okay, so the measurement you're going to need for this hat is going to be the circumference of your hat. All right, so you just use your measurement tape to round your head and know the inches that you are getting from there. All right, because that is going to be the foundation chain that we are going to be making for this hat. Okay. So, but I always advise you when you do your chains, your foundation chains, just wrap it around your head to know where you need to stop. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now to make my own foundation chain. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you go ahead to make your own foundation chain. I'll be right back to tell you how many chains I end up making and what we're going to be doing next. All right. Okay, so I'm done with my foundation chain and this is what it gave me. I did 70 chains altogether. So when I wrap it around my head, I'm okay with this size, just like this. Okay, so you make sure you wrap your foundation chain around your head to make sure this is the size that you are going for. Okay, so the next step now, we are going to be working all around. So what we are going to do, we are going to bring the end of this part here now. Make sure when you're doing that, you make it straight because we don't want it coiling up. All right, then you are going to do a slip stitch on the very first stitch right here that we started from. Because like I told you, we are going to be working rounds. All right, so do a slip stitch on the very first chain stitch right here. Okay, so now for the row 2, you are going to chain up 1. So on this very first stitch now, you are going to be doing a single crochet inside that chain stitch. Just like that. And now for the next stitch, you are going to be going in there with a double crochet. And on the next, you're going to be doing a single crochet. This is going to be a little tricky, so be careful so you don't coil your work up. All right. So the next stitch is single crochet. And on the next stitch, a double crochet. On the next is single. And on the next, a double. So this is exactly what you are going to be doing for the row 1. Just be alternating one single and one double, one single and one double as you go. All right. So when I get to the very end, I'll come back to tell you what we are going to be doing for the row 2. All right. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row 1 now, and this is how it's looking. And if I forget to mention, if you started with a single crochet, you must always end with a double crochet. All right. So now to end on this row, what you are going to do, please just watch this part very well. Okay. You are going to throw your yarn, the yarn that you've been using before, you're going to put it inside just like this. Okay. And then get your next color yarn. For my own, I'm going to be using this blue color. So what you're going to do now, you're going to go into the single crochet stitch that you started with your hook, and then you are going to pick the next yarn color. In this case now, my blue color. and then you're going to pass it through and use it to do a slip stitch, just like this. All right, so make sure you drag this back and make it tight because we don't want it to be pulling off. All right, so you can see now. All right, so for the next row, you are going to chain up 1 and then turn your work to the other side. So on this very first stitch now, you are going to be making a single crochet right there. That's a previous double crochet. That is where you're going to be making your first single crochet. And make sure you put a stitch marker so you know where your very first stitch is. Just like that. Okay, so on the previous single crochet row, you are going to be doing a double crochet on that stitch. And on the previous single crochet row, double crochet row, you are going to doing a single crochet. So it's same alternating, but just make sure that where your double crochet is going into now is the previous row of single crochet, just like this. So 1 single crochet on the next stitch, 1 double crochet on the next, 1 single crochet on the next, and 1 double crochet on the next. All right, so this is exactly what you are going to keep alternating again until you get to the very end. All right, so the only way this design is going to come out is if you do not make a mistake. So make sure you don't make a mistake. Make sure that the places where you are putting the single crochet is where the previous double crochet was on the last row. So it's very easy to see. So just look at it very well. So as you can see, this is the previous double crochet stitch. I'm going to be going in there with a single. And this is the previous single crochet. I'm going to be going in there with a double. All right, so keep doing yours and I will meet you at the end to tell you how we are going to begin the next row. All right. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row 2 now, and this is how it's looking so far. So I'm just going to be putting in my last double crochet on the very last stitch right here. So now we are going to be doing a slip stitch with the pink color. So bring in your blue color and remove the stitch marker from our very first stitch right here. So you see the pink color that we left here at the end of the first row. That is the pink color you are going to be using to do your slip stitch. Okay, so please just watch what I'm doing. So you remember the first stitch here, you are going to go into that first stitch right here. And then now you are going to be picking the pink color to do a slip stitch, just like this. And make sure you drag the blue one to make it tighter. So now with the pink, you are going to chain up 1 and then turn your work to the other side. Make sure you are not cutting off the colors. It's just going to be there because that is what you are going to be picking to continue your next row. All right. So this method, you are going to avoid sewing in ends. All right. So now you are going to do your first single crochet on the previous double crochet stitch and then put in your stitch marker on that very first stitch. And then on the next stitch, you are going in there with a double. And on the next, you are going in there with a single. And on the next, a double. So this is what you are going to do again. You keep alternating 1 single and 1 double. And make sure the places you are putting the single is where the previous double is. And where you are putting the double is where the previous single is. Okay, so this is exactly what you are going to continue again for this row. And when you get to the end, I'm going to come back to show you for the last time how you are going to switch the colors. Okay, so keep doing that now and I will meet you here to tell you how you are going to switch the color back to the blue color. All right. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row 3 now. So I'm just going to be showing you how we end this row 3 again. Because like I told you for the last time, because I'm going to go off camera to do my own rows and I'll be right back to show you what we're going to be doing next. But first, let me show you how we switch the color again here. All right. So now that we're at the end of this row 3, you are going to bring your pink color down here. All right. Then remove your stitch marker from the very first stitch here. And then you are going to go into that first stitch just like this and pick up the next color, which is the blue color. And do a slip stitch with this blue color. Just like this. All right. And make sure you drag the pink and make it tighter underneath here. All right. So take your blue color now and then chain up 1, just like this. Then turn your work to the other side. And on the previous double crochet stitch now, you're going to be going in there with a single crochet. And then mark out your stitch with the stitch marker, just like this. All right, so now you keep alternating double crochet and single crochet, double crochet and single crochet all around until you get here again. And when you get here again, you change your color again. You do exactly the same thing until you get the length that you are going for. All right, so I'm going off camera now to actually do my own length. I will end up doing 10 of the pink and 10 of the blue on all of the rows. Okay, so I'll be right back when I get my 10 rows to tell you what we're going to be doing next. All right. Okay, so I now have my 20 rows all together now. So I have for the pink 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and for the blue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So like I told you, I now have my 20 rows already, 10 of the blue and 10 of the pink. Okay, so the next step now we are going to be working on the brim. All right, so as you can see, I didn't cut off the yarn from here. So what we are going to be doing now is exactly what we've been doing. So you bring this one here and then go into the very first stitch right here, the first single crochet you started with, and then pick up the pink color and do a slip stitch with that right here to change it back to the pink, because as you can see, the next one is supposed to be the pink. The pink is going to be our main color. All right. So for the brim, you are going to chain up 1. But this time around, you're not going to turn your work to the other side. So this part is going to be the front of our hat. Okay. So on this very first stitch now, you are going to be going in there with a single crochet. And on the next stitch, a single crochet. And on the next, a single crochet. So for this row, we are just going to be making single crochet all around. All right, and don't forget to mark your very first stitch so you do not make a mistake. Okay, so now since we won't be needing this blue yarn anymore, we are going to cut it off. So make sure you leave a tail long enough that you are going to weave in later. So now we are done with the blue. So for the brim, we are just going to be using the pink color. All right, so you go ahead now to work just single crochet on each of the stitches all around. And when you get to the very end of this round, I'm going to come back to tell you what we're going to be doing next. All right. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row 1 now, our single crochet row. So to end on this row, you're just going to do a slip stitch on the very first stitch that you started with right here. Just like this. So now to begin the next row, which is our row 2, you are going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3. So this chain 3 is going to be serving as our first double crochet, because we are going to be doing front post and back post double crochet on this row. All right, so now you're going to yarn over, and on this very first stitch here, right here, you're going to be going in there with one front post double crochet, just like this. All right, so yarn over, and on the next stitch, you're going to be going in there with a back post double crochet. And on the next stitch, you're going to be going in there with the front posts, and the next stitch a back post double crochet. So for this row, you are just going to be doing front post and back post double crochet all around. All right, and I will meet you here to tell you what we are going to be doing for the row 3. Okay. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row 1 now, and this is how it's looking so far. So to end on this row, you're just going to be doing a slip stitch on the chain 3 stitch that you started with right here. Do a slip stitch right there. All right, so now to begin the next row, you are going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, yarn over, and you see this stitch you did a front post on the previous row, you are going to be doing a front post on that front post double crochet, just like this. And on the next stitch where you did your back post, you are going to be doing a back post on that back post double crochet. And on the next stitch, a front post. And on the back post, a back post. So this is the pattern you are going to be following for this row. The front post from the previous row, we get a front post. Then the back post from the previous row, we get a back post. So keep doing this until you get to the very end. Okay, so do that all around. And when you get to the end here, I'm going to come back to show you what we're going to be doing next. All right. Okay, so I'm at the end of this row now. So we are going to be doing one last row on this front post and back post double crochet. All right, so to end on this row now, you are going to be doing a slip stitch on the chain 3 stitch that we started with right here. And now to begin the next row, you are going to chain up 3, 1, 2, and 3, yarn over, and on the previous front post, you are going to be doing a front post double crochet on that previous front post double crochet. And on the previous back post double crochet, you're going to be going in there with a back post double crochet. So as usual, exactly what you did on the last row, that's exactly what you're going to be doing here. The front posts to the previous front posts, then a back post to the previous back posts, just like this. All right, so it's as easy as that. So keep doing this all around, and like I said, this is going to be the last row here because we don't want it to be too long. But if you like, depending on how you want yours to be, you can actually continue doing it until you get your desired length. But me, I'm just going to be stopping on this third row. Okay, because this third row is going to give me altogether from this part, it's going to give me 8 inches. Okay, so the height of the hat is going to be exactly 8 inches. So I'm going to be stopping here because I don't want it to be too long. All right, so you go ahead now to be doing your front post and back post until you get to the end here, and I'll come back to tell you what we're going to be doing next. All right. Okay, so I'm at the end of the third row now, the third row of the front posts and back post double crochets. All right, don't forget we started with a single crochet before we started doing the front post and back post. Okay, so now to end on this row, you're just going to do a slip stitch on the very chain 3 stitch that we did here. Okay, I still have one more stitch left. That's the last one, that's the front post. All right, so now you just do a slip stitch to end this row on the chain 3 stitch here. All right, so now I'm going to be cutting off this yarn because like I told you, I'm just going to be doing 3 rows of the front post and back posts on the brim. Okay, so I'm done with the brim. But like I told you, if you want yours longer, you can actually go ahead to keep putting in more of the rows until you are satisfied with the length where your own is. But for me, this is where I'm going to stop. And like I told you, altogether now I have 8 inches. Okay, so this is where I'm stopping. All right, so the next step now is going to be closing the top of this hats. All right, so for that you are going to need your tapestry needle. All right, then you are going to be cutting off a strand of yarn that will be long enough to go around the top of the hat. So I think this is okay for me. All right, so you are going to put your strand of yarn now into your tapestry needle, just like this. Please just watch what I'm doing, okay? So what you're going to do, you see this part that we started from here, you're going to go into that stitch, the very first stitch right here, okay? And then you're going to go into the next, just like this, and into the next. Let me bring it down so it is clear what I'm doing. Okay, then go into the next stitch. Just be picking the top stitch just like this with your needle. All right, and then you're going to drag it out just like this. But make sure you leave a little tail at the back because that's what you're going to be using to tie it when you are done. All right, so just continue doing this. Continue picking the top stitch just like this and be passing your needle through it like this. When you have enough, just drag it out like this. Okay, so continue doing this. Okay, so we are at the end here now. So what you need to do, you are going to be pulling it. All right, you're going to be pulling it and make sure you get every part of it. So pull it, pull it. All right, I'm going to the last bit here now. In and then out. All right, so you pull. So what we are going to be doing now, we are going to be sewing it close so we don't have any holes here anymore. All right. So you know this is the front of the hat. So what you are going to be doing now, you are going to find a stitch that will take you to the back. So pick this one and just pass it to the back just like this, because that is where we are going to be doing the final sewing. So now we have the rope at the back. So turn your work to the other side. So this is where we are going to be completing the sewing. All right, so now you are just going to be looking for the holes to go into like this. So come to this side. Please just watch what I'm doing, okay? Come to this side and pick a stitch and then drag it out. And make sure you're sewing it close. And then come to this side, pick a stitch, just like that. So you go ahead to sew yours and make sure you sew it close. I'm going to go off camera now to do my sewing and I'll come back to tell you how it's looking and what we're going to be doing next. All right. Okay, so as you can see now, I've covered mine very well. You see the sewing is very neat inside. So make sure you tie with the strand you left behind. All right, see, I've done the tying right here now, and I'm making sure that there are no holes right here. So as far as I'm concerned, there is no hole here. So all you need to do now is turn it to the front of your hat and check thoroughly and make sure that there are no holes. So as you can see, everything is covered, it's fully sewn. All right. So you turn your hats to the front, and here you go. So this is our beanie. You see how beautiful this looks. So all I just need to do now is go ahead to sew in all of the ends, and I should be done with my hat. Okay, so I've gone ahead to actually make a second one. So as you can see, I made this one blue and gray, and the little designs on this other yarn. Very pretty yarn. All right, so you see how beautiful they look. So now all I need to do is do a matching hat for a matching scarf for my hat. So I have the scarf and the hat that is of the same color. Just watch out on the next video for that one, because I'm going to be doing a matching scarf for these hats. All right. So with this, we've come to the end of today's tutorial. I do hope you enjoy watching this video as much as I did creating the video. If you do, make sure to like the video and send it to your friends and your family who wants to make something as beautiful as this. All right, so if you have any questions about this project, feel free to drop it on the comment section and I will be happy to help. All right, and if you are not subscribed to my channel yet, if you are not following this channel yet, you are missing a lot. You better subscribe now so you do not miss out on any of these beautiful tutorials that I post on here. All right, so until next time, bye bye.